The stars blinked as usual. Trade ships drifted through the void in peace. Planetary broadcasts played mindless ads. On the Hellion markets, alien vendors haggled over spice cubes and gravity pearls. Then, ... It happened. All frequencies went dead. Screens across the galaxy turned black. Silence filled every room. Spaceports, colonies, battle cruisers, farms, and marketplaces. For 3 full seconds, nothing moved. No sound, no warnings, and then a video began to play. It was Shakir recorded with a handheld communit, likely stolen. The screen flickered in and out of focus. Inside a dark chamber, lit only by red emergency lights, stood 12 terrified children. Human children. They were thin, dirty, scarediges, ranging from 5 to maybe 10. One girl clutched a plush toy. A boy in the back whimpered quietly. Behind them stood high-energy force fields. A voice spoke deep, rough alien. They are safe, ... for now. Do not attempt rescue. Do not trace this signal. Humanity must stay silent, or they will suffer. The screen froze on a girl with curly hair and wide eyes. Then it cut to static. Across 100 systems, gasps echoed. Drinks dropped. Ships paused mid-jump, and slowly, as if whispered by the stars themselves, "You took human children? Tell me that was a prank." High Chancellor Yearn, a tall insectoid from the Trivian hive, stared at the blank screen. His antennae twitched in fear. "It wasn't," replied the communications officer, a pale-skinned Uralian. The signal was genuine, broadcasted from 6 known relay points plus 2 unknowns. It originated from somewhere beyond the rim. "Humans are going to see it," whispered Yearn, "if they haven't already." "They've seen it," said another voice, "and they're already responding." The chamber turned to face the figure in the shadows. It was Commander Vana, Creel of the Galactic Intelligence Corps. Her uniform shimmered with high-rank authority. Her eyes were dark with worry. "We received a ping from Earth's Outer Defense AI," she continued. "They've activated tracking protocols. No message, no demands, just ... silence." "Gods help us," Yearn muttered. "Not again." Smugglers were laughing in a metal bunker buried deep underground. A dozen aliens of various species drank, cheered, and clapped each other on the back. They'd done it. They had stolen 12 human children off a drifting refugee ship using stealth drones and teleport harnesses. Clean grab. No witnesses, no alert. And the price? Unimaginable. Buyers were already offering fortunes. Black market scientists, gene labs, gladiator worlds, even dark collectors. "They're just kids," grunted Narvol, the six-eyed slug-like leader. "Earth's too proud to notice 12 missing brats." A cybernetic fly buzzed overhead. One smuggler lazily zapped it with a wrist beam. "I say we triple the ransom," laughed another. "The humans'll cry and whine, but they won't risk war over a few." Suddenly, the lights flickered, then went out, and a soft hum filled the bunker. Narvol froze. He'd heard that hum before. It was the sound of a human war satellite. "Charging its scan beam?" "Shut it down," he barked. "Scramble our location. Too late. No shouting. No debate. No politics." The room was silent. President Mariana Trans stood with her hands clenched behind her back. Her eyes locked onto the looping video of the children. The moment Ava, the little girl with curls, looked into the camera and whispered, "Mom," everyone in the room broke. "Do we negotiate?" Juanaid asked weakly. "No," Tran said calmly. "We act." She turned to the AI core embedded in the floor. "Vigil?" "Yes, Madam President." "Confirmed." "Target lock initiated," the council argued. "They were smugglers," shouted Duke Iraz, a horned warrior species. "We didn't authorize this. Humans will think we're involved," hissed a reptilian envoy. "We must open talks," shrieked another. Chancellor Yearn slammed his claws down. "You fools. Talking won't save you now." Everyone turned. "Let me tell you something," he continued, standing tall. "When I was younger, during the First Contact War, I saw what happened to the Zern Syndicate. They took one human child. One. They didn't even kill her. Just used her to pressure a diplomat. He paused. The room was still. The entire planet burned in 3 hours. Gasps filled the chamber. Yearn pointed a claw toward the stars. We're already too late. They are coming. No lights, no engine trails, no signal, just silence. 15 Terran ships cloaked. Armed, emotionless move through the black like predators. Commander Rourke. A battle-scarred veteran with cybernetic eyes sat in his command seat. The only light came from the red glow of tactical readouts. ETA to smuggler base? He asked. 17 minutes, replied the pilot. Targets confirmed. 0 civilians. 12 children confirmed alive. He nodded. Begin the sweep. Eliminate resistance. Retrieve our children. The galaxy was stunned. Thousands of species tuned in. Every news channel showed the same footage. The abducted human kids, the smuggler laughing, the unknown threat. Building. Alien civilians watched with dread. Merchants canceled human trade deals. Pirate lords went into hiding in the back alleys of the galaxy. Even hardened criminals muttered a single phrase. They took human children, and across the void. Fear spread faster than light. The smuggler base's emergency lights flashed. Red sirens howled. Energy weapons lit the halls. But the Terran team moved like ghosts, each strike precise. Quiet, unstoppable. In a small locked chamber, Ava turned to the other kids. She smiled. They're here. And the door blew open. The bar was quiet. It's quiet. Captain Vector, a battle-scarred alien from the Helix Dominion, sat at the far end, nursing a bitter green drink. His 6-fingered hand trembled slightly as he scrolled through his datapad. The screen repeated the same. Footage, the shaky broadcast of the human children, trapped behind force fields. He stared at the face of the little girl with the curly hair. They are safe, for now. Humanity must stay silent. He gritted his sharp teeth. The datapad cracked in his grip. A bartender droid floated by. Everything okay, Captain? No, Vector muttered, standing slowly. They've done it again. Who? He didn't answer. He tossed some credits on the table and stormed out of the bar. Outside, the city glowed with neon lights. Sky cars drifted above, and loud music played in the distance. But Vector heard nothing. All he could hear was the ghost of a voice from long ago, a human voice during the First Contact War. You touch our children, and we will tear down your stars. Vector wasn't always afraid of humans. Decades ago, he served as an elite soldier during the Helix expansion. His squad raided colonies, seized cargo, took hostages. They believed the humans were weak, primitive animals who barely understood the galaxy until the Zern Syndicate made a mistake. They took a single human child. Just one. Her name was Kira. 8 years old. She had a broken arm and refused to cry. Vector remembered seeing her once. She looked him dead in the eye and said, "My dad is coming." He laughed then. He didn't laugh for long. Within hours, a Terran warship appeared in orbit. Not just any ship, a stealth dreadnought, one of Earth's secret weapons. It destroyed every escape route. Earth sent no warning, no demands. Death, the base was wiped out. Only Vector and a few others survived, pulled from the wreckage by a rescue drone he never forgot. They don't negotiate for children, he whispered. They exterminate. He stormed into a grimy hangar on the trade world of Pharaoh 7. Inside, a group of alien smugglers sat around laughing. At the center, Narval, the slug-like smuggler who led the child abduction. Narval recognized him and chuckled. Look who it is, the mighty war hero, come to lecture us? You idiots don't understand what you've done, Vector growled. We made a fortune, that's what, Narval sneered. Now buyers are lining up for the little meat bags. Vector slammed a metal case on the table. The screen on it played a short clip. A Terran fleet cloaking near a gas giant. Silent. Invisible. This is from 30 minutes ago, Vector said. They're coming. Narval laughed. You're just scared. The old soldiers always think. The humans are some kind of ghosts. No, Vector said, eyes burning. They're worse. Vector sent an urgent message to the Galactic Council. The smugglers are still holding the children. They won't listen. If Earth acts, we'll see another purge? You need to send forces to stop this. He waited. No reply. After 2 hours, a single short message arrived. We can't protect them. Let Earth handle it. In Earth's Deep Space Command Station, orbiting Saturn, the Vigil AI activated Phase 2. The system sent a coded pulse to 5 Black Ops units stationed across the galaxy. Each one received the same 3 words: secure, silence, strike. No further instruction was needed. Inside the hidden bunker, the children were growing restless. The smugglers fed them scraps. Ava had a bruised arm. Milo hadn't spoken all day, but something was changing. The older kids started whispering to each other. Planning, Ava found a loose panel behind her force field. She began picking at it with her fingernails. Nearby, a boy named Elias rewired a broken toy drone using a hidden piece of copper wire from his shoe sole. We have to be ready, Ava said. They're coming for us, but we need to help them. Word of the abduction spread across the underworld. At first, everyone was excited. Human children were rare, exotic, valuable, but then the buyers began to vanish. One by one, a Ginlob. The outer rim exploded in a silent fireball. A collector on Station Drovos disappeared. His guards found only a child's toy on his throne. No explosions. No evidence. Just fear. Soon, no one wanted to buy the children. No one even wanted to be near them. Watching the chaos unfold, Vector finally made a choice. He loaded his old stealth fighter, powered up its silent engines, and blasted off from Pharaoh 7. Destination: the asteroid, where the children were held. He wasn't sure what he would do when he got there. But one thing was certain. If he could save even one child, maybe, just maybe, he could stop Earth's wrath from consuming them all. The Terran retribution fleet was in motion. Each ship moved without a trace. Their hulls absorbed light. Their engines ran cold. Entire worlds couldn't detect their approach. Inside, the command ship. Commander Rourke reviewed the layout of the smuggler base. 12 targets, confirmed alive. We take them all, he said. We leave no child behind. Naval finally began to panic. Buyers had vanished. His credits were worthless. One of his guards found a message burned into the wall of their vault. You took them, now we take everything. We ran to the children's chamber, waving a blaster. Which one of you has a tracker? Tell me now. Children stared back in silence. He roared. Ava stepped forward. I do, she said. Narvel froze. Then the wall behind him exploded, and everything went dark. All across the galaxy, humans disappeared. Not in a panic, not in fear. They simply went silent. Human embassies shut their doors. Diplomats left council halls without a word. Human traders stopped transmitting. Mining colonies went dark. Cargo ships vanished from trade routes. Even the famous Terran news feeds, which normally blasted across the stars, turned to static, and still Earth said nothing. Alien leaders grew nervous. Was this a delay? Or was it a warning? Then one signal broke the silence. From Earth, just 3 words. Where are they? Inside the towering halls of the Galactic Council, members argued in loud, chaotic voices. The message from Earth had arrived only minutes ago, and already half the council wanted to flee. High Chancellor Yearn stood in front of the main screen, staring at the words. Where are they? That was it. No name, no threat. No identification. But it was from Earth's central AI Vigil, and everyone knew what that meant. It's begun, Yearn said grimly. A younger alien delegate shook his head. They didn't even ask for proof. They don't know who took them. They know, Yearn replied. They always know. On the surface of the moon, Earth's central defense complex, Luna Command remained sealed inside. Thousands of analysts and military officers worked without speaking. The air was heavy with purpose. Satellites moved into position, spy drones deployed from hidden bases across the galaxy, and the AI VIGL watched every system from orbit to rim space. From deep space to alien core worlds, it scanned for one thing. Only the children. Inside the gas giant's swirling storm, hidden beneath the pressure clouds. An ancient Terran weapon stirred. A massive AI-controlled stealth vessel project. Nemesis opened its eyes after 67 years of dormancy. Its mission, unknown to most. Its purpose, justice without hesitation. Nemesis pulsed once, scanning for new orders. The command came instantly. Locate the 12. Prepare for interception. The warship turned its engines toward the asteroid belt Narvol. The leader of the smugglers was no longer laughing. One of his ships had vanished 2 days ago. Another crew hadn't checked in. And now, the walls of his bunker whispered strange things. Messages kept appearing on their terminals, scratched into metal, burned into doors. We see you. They are not yours. Return the children or be returned to dust. His crew wanted to run, but there was nowhere left to go. Even the stars seemed to be closing in. In the prison chamber, the 12 human children were growing stronger. Ava, the oldest girl, had removed part of the force field casing. She had made a small gap, just enough, to slide a wire through. Elias, the quiet tech genius, now controlled one of the surveillance drones using a hacked toy circuit. He sent a signal. A simple one. Just a set of numbers. Human code. It flew through space, low frequency. It's undetectable to alien scanners, but not to Earth, above the moons of Neptune. The Terran Shadow Fleet began to move. Dozens of invisible warships, each one equipped with gravity shields, pulse silencers, and silent death weapons, drifted toward the target zone. No light, no signal, no noise, just movement. Commander Rourke, still cold and focused, received the signal from Elias. 12 confirmed. Coordinates locked. A second message followed from Vigil. No diplomacy, no delay. Bring them home. Captain Vector, the Helix Dominion war veteran, finally arrived at the outer perimeter of the smuggler base. His ship was old, but still fast. He turned off all lights and used an old Helix cloak module. Primitive, but enough to sneak close. What he saw shocked him. Terran ships. Dozens. They floated around the asteroid, like vultures circling the dead, but no shots were fired. Not yet in other parts of the galaxy. Fear spread like fire. On Zavara, Prime, an alien broadcaster, shouted live, "Earth has gone silent. They're preparing something, we know it." On the station of Nureth, a merchant threw human tech off his shelves. "I'm not getting vaporized over a few kids," he screamed. On a warship near the Polvax border, a young officer asked his captain, "What if they come for us next?" The captain just looked at the dark space ahead and whispered, "Pray they don't." Narvol was falling apart. He'd tried to contact his buyers. None answered. He tried to bribe the council. No one dared respond. He tried to kill one of the children, to send a message. His gun melted in his hand. Literally melted. And that's when the walls began to shake. At first it felt like a tremor. Then lights exploded. Doors snapped open. The sound of boots echoed. Narvol screamed, "No! We'll give them back! We'll give them back!" But no one answered, because Earth wasn't listening anymore. Across the galaxy, screens flickered once more. For the first time in days, Earth sent a full video transmission. A woman stood at the center of the screen. President Mariana Trandher. Eyes were calm, deadly, and cold. To those who believe human children are tools for profit, she paused. "You have made a mistake." Behind her, images flashed. Tava, Elias, the smuggler base, Terran warships, burning wreckage. This is not a warning. This is the response. We are already on the way. You've had your chance. The screen went dark. It started. With a whisper, a soft alarm blinked in the smuggler base. Just one. A minor glitch, the system said. Then came the second alarm, and the third by the time the fourth hit. Narvol was already shouting orders. "Seal the main doors. Activate turrets. Get the kids ready to move." But deep down he knew it was too late. In the silence of space, hidden behind the shadow of a dead moon, the Terran fleet had arrived. No signal, no warning, just movement. Like a storm creeping over a graveyard, then the feed went black. Narvel stumbled through the darkened halls of the smuggler base, his thick, slug-like body struggling to keep up. Sirens screamed. Lights flickered red. Smoke filled the corridors. He slammed his fist into a cum panel. Status? Where are they coming from? A panicked voice replied, "We don't know. They're not showing on radar. They're invisible." Another voice shouted, "Turrets 1 through 7 just shut down." What? There, offline. It's like the systems are being erased. Above the asteroid, the Terran retribution fleet moved like a silent machine. Commander Rourke stood aboard the TSV Nightbane, a stealth cruiser with black armor and red sensor eyes. "Drop pods deployed," said the tactical officer. "Status: casualties. No resistance. They have no idea what's happening." Rourke gave a grim nod. "Begin Phase 2. In the holding chamber, the human children huddled together. The floor vibrated. Distant crashes echoed through the walls. The lights flickered, then died completely. Ava stood first. She held the toy drone Elias had modified its single eye, glowing faint blue. "They're here," she whispered. "Is it really them?" asked Milo. Ava smiled. "We're going home." Outside the base, Vector's ship hovered just beyond the battlefield. He watched as black ships moved through the debris field like sharks in dark water. His stomach turned. He'd seen this before. He knew what happened when Earth went to war. But this time, he wouldn't hide. He angled his ship toward the base and activated his old Helix beacon inside the Terran fleet. Signal flashed. Ally approaching. Non-hostile. Rourke raised an eyebrow. "Who the hell is that?" Vigil responded automatically. "Former Helix officer, survivor of First Contact War, known witness to Zern incident." Rourke smirked. "Let him through." Desperate, Narvel ordered the children moved. "Put them on the escape ship. We'll trade them for safe passage." His guards hesitated. "That won't work. They'll kill us. They won't risk the children," Narvel hissed. But they were wrong. The humans weren't here to talk. On the surface of the asteroid, the first Terran Marines landed silently, dressed in black armor with no lights or markings. They moved like shadows. Each squad had one mission: retrieve the children, eliminate all resistance. No unnecessary damage, no wasted movement. One by one, the smuggler outposts went dark. No alarms, just silence. Then, nothing. To Terran Marines, Calcine's ghost, and Immer moved through a ventilation shaft and dropped into the prison level. They used EMP spikes to shut down the force fields. The kids stared in disbelief as the shimmering walls disappeared. "Who are you?" Ava asked. Ghost took off his helmet. His face was calm, serious. "We're the reason the stars went quiet," he said. Then he smiled. "Time to go home." In a rage, Narvel ran to the hangar where the children had been moved, but they were already gone. Instead, he found smoke, bullet holes, and a message burned into the wall in Terran script. "Don't touch our children," Narvel screamed. Then he turned and came face to face with Vector. "You," Narvel growled. "Traitor." Vector aimed his weapon, calm and steady. "No," he said. "I remember Kira." Narvel raised his blaster butt. Vector fired first. The retrieval teams returned to their ships with all 12 children safely on board. Not one had a scratch. In the command room of the Nightbane, Commander Rourke stood in silence as the medics checked each child. He watched Ava closely. She stood tall, calm, watching everything. Watching him? "You're brave," he said. She looked at him. "My mom says we're all brave," she replied, "because we're human." He smiled faintly. "She's right." Back in the Galactic Council, the news broke across every feed. Earth rescues all 12 children smugglers wiped out in precise, bloodless strike. One alien ambassador dropped his glass. Another whispered, "How did they even find them?" No one answered. They were all thinking the same thing. Earth didn't ask for help. Earth didn't send a warning. Earth just acted. From Earth, a final transmission was sent across the galaxy. This time, it wasn't a demand. It wasn't a question. It was a statement written in 1,000 languages. We don't start wars. But if you harm our children, we'll end them. Then Earth went silent again. But no one mistook that silence for peace. The sky over Sarn Vex was always calm. Its twin suns glowed gently over wide forests and crystal lakes. It was a sanctuary world-neutral ground, a place where refugees, outlaws, and smugglers hid from war and law alike. It had never known fire until now. Without warning, the ground shook. Explosions shattered the silence. Smoke rose through the trees. Inside the ancient tower of the Grey Syndicate, a guard screamed into a cum. The humans are here. I repeat, the humans are here. No reply came. Only a burning message carved into the stone wall. We warned you. Word spread fast across the galaxy. 12 human children had been rescued. The smugglers who took them were wiped out. Trial? No warning. It's just silence and then destruction. Now, the humans had gone farther. They hit Sarn Vex, the galaxy's last neutral zone. Even the Council was terrified. Why would they do this? One ambassador asked. The Terran response came as a silent data packet, no words. Coordinates. Coordinates that matched the Grey Syndicate's secret base. In the forests of Sarn Vex, Vector walked beside Commander Rourke. What are we looking for? Vector asked. A ghost, Rourke replied. One that smells like credits and blood. Vector's mandibles clicked softly. You believe there are more children? Rourke didn't answer, just handed Vector a file. Inside was a recording, a security feed pulled from the smuggler. Base they'd destroyed. It showed a room filled with more than 12 children. Some weren't human. Some were. Another ring, Rourke said quietly. Deeper. Older. Vector's breath caught. They moved them here before we arrived. Inside the Grey Syndicate's fortress, Syndic Jarvrel slammed a clawed fist on the table. You said they wouldn't come here? He roared. An advisor stammered. This is neutral space. Even humans obey sanctuary rules there. Human, Vrel snapped. They don't care about our rules. They care about one thing. Pulled up a Hala image. A Terran child with bruises on her face and shackles on her wrists. You took human children? Even the alien was terrified. From orbit, the Terran stealth cruiser TSV Whisperfall dropped its payload. 12 shadow pods fell through the atmosphere small, fast and completely silent. The moment they landed, the ground teams went to work. No comes. No announcements. Just surgical precision. One by one, the Syndicate's sensor towers shut down. The power grid flickered and failed inside the Syndicate fortress. Guards screamed as their weapons stopped working. The lights died. The walls shivered. Then, the first explosion hit. Ava sat in the medical bay of the TSV Nightbane, her eyes locked on the screen. She wasn't supposed to see the footage, but Ghost let her. The video showed the Syndicate base, and children being loaded onto prison ships. Human children. Why didn't they take them back to Earth? She asked. Ghost looked at her, because Earth didn't know. Ava's jaw tightened. Now we do. She looked over at the technician. Tell them to burn it down. 2 Terran strike teams, Calcine Echo and Viper, moved through the burning jungle. They didn't speak. Each move was planned. Every target marked, they had 3 objectives. Secure the human children. Download all data on Syndicate networks. Leave a message. The teams moved through tunnels and towers, disabling guards with stun rounds and EMP darts. Inside one room, they found the cages. 5 human children, starving, terrified. One of them had no legs. Echo. Team leader knelt beside the boy. You're safe now, she whispered. We're the monsters they warned you about. At the heart of the fortress, Commander Rourke entered the control room. He placed a small black device on the main console. VIGIL, he said. Begin broadcast to the Grey Syndicate. You broke the rules. You sold our children. You used their pain for profit. This is not a warning. This is the result. He pressed a button. Every Syndicate server, every backup relay, every off-site storage cell. Wiped clean. Data gone. Profits lost. Years of secrets erased. Then Rourke took out a blade and carved one line into the steel wall. Humans were here. Syndic Jarvarel tried to run. His guards were gone. His escape pod had been sliced in half. He ran through smoke and blood, gasping until he saw her. Ava, the girl, stood calmly, holding a small pistol far too large for her hand. Behind her stood Ghost, silent. Uvrel hissed. "You shouldn't be here." Ava tilted her head. "You shouldn't have taken us." And then she walked away. Ghost raised his rifle and ended it. As the TSV Whisperfall pulled away from the planet, skies behind it turned orange. Explosions tore through the Syndicate base. Storage vaults, labs, markets. Gone. What was once a sanctuary was now a grave. The council chamber was in chaos. They burned Sarn Vex. They erased the Syndicate. "Don't they understand what that planet meant?" One voice cut through the shouting. A quiet, slow voice from the Zenari ambassador. "They sent a message," he said. "They made sure every species heard it." Somewhere deep in space, a slaver lord watched the feed. He turned to his underlings, face pale. "They know." He looked down at his own shipment manifest. Rows of IDs marked human children. He hit the delete key fast. "Get rid of them," he ordered. No, but it was too late, because in the corner of the room, a small red light blinked. Earth was. Already watching ash still fell over Sarn Vex. The once-proud sanctuary planet was nothing but rubble and flame. In the shattered remains of the Syndicate stronghold, heat shimmered off scorched walls. Black smoke rose like a warning to the stars. But beneath the rubble, voices stirred. A damaged security drone flickered to life. Its camera lens cracked, and sparking, zoomed in on a pile of collapsed stone and the small, shaking form beneath it. A child's hand reached out. Help. And far across the stars, a chilling realization dawned. There were more children, and they were still alive. Under layers of debris, 6 children had survived the final strike. They had hidden during the firestorm, locked inside a cold storage room deep beneath the fortress. Food had run out. Water was almost gone. Air was thinning. They had heard the gunfire. They'd heard the explosions. But no one came for them, until now. Rourke stood aboard the TSV Whisperfall, scanning thermal readings. "Something's moving down there," said the pilot. "We didn't clear the whole base." He turned to Ava, whose face was blank. "If it's more kids," she whispered, "we go back." 10 minutes later, 2 drop pods cut through the smoke again, delivering new ground teams back into the ruins inside the dark, broken corridors. The rescue team found them. 6 children. Not all human threes were from other species, used as bargaining chips. Leverage against humanity. The oldest, a Terran boy named Leo, clutched a sharp metal pipe and refused to drop it. "I heard your gunshots," he said through cracked lips. "I thought you were them." Rourke knelt. "You're safe now." "No," Leo said. "They said there's another place. Worse one." Ava's heart sank. They hadn't saved them all. Not yet. Back aboard the cruiser. The rescued children were given water, food, and warmth. When the medics left, Rourke entered their room alone. "Tell me everything," he said. And they did. They spoke of auction moons where humans were paraded like trophies. They spoke of masked buyers who paid in rare alloys. And they spoke of a name whispered like a curse. The Garden, a secret place, a hidden station in deep space, a final market, where the youngest, most valuable captives were taken. Not even Syndicate guards went there, Leo said. They just disappeared. News spread quickly. More children were still missing. The burning of Sarn Vex hadn't ended the nightmare. It had only revealed how deep the roots went. The council called an emergency session. They struck. Sarn Vex. They'll burn more. They don't care about law. They only care about revenge. But one alien ambassador stood. A female Ithari named Halvaris. "They are not taking revenge," she said. "They're reclaiming children. Would we not do the same?" The chamber fell silent. No one had an answer. Ghost accessed encrypted data pulled from the ruins. Deep within, found recordings. One showed a syndicate auctioneer pointing to a small, human girl inside a glass cage. This one's from Earth itself. Pure stock. Highly valuable. Sold to. Garden Protocol. Another showed a masked buyer speaking in code. Shipment received. Prepare the garden. Terrariums must shine. Ava watched with clenched fists. Terrariums, she asked. Rourke replied, they're not rescuing children. They're collecting them. The president of the Terran Union stood before the Solar Assembly. We acted to save lives. We will do it again. Any who stand between us and our children will be considered complicit. Behind her, the faces of the rescued children played silently. Not one voice in the room objected. Back aboard the TSV Whisperfall, Ava stood with Rourke, Ghost, and the recovered children. On the screen behind them, a map filled with redacted coordinates, unknown jump points and ghost signals at the center of it, all one blinking. The garden ghost said, we found its signal. Rourke nodded. Then this ends where it began. He turned to the strike team. Get ready. We're going to the root of this rot. Ava looked to the children and whispered, no one else gets left behind. What a single encrypted signal pulsed in the darkness. The code was ancient, buried, meant to stay. Hidden, Ghost decrypted it. On screen, the image flickered, then stabilized. A massive station slowly rotated near a dying red star, covered in black panels. No visible entrances. No response to hails. It didn't look like a place where children were kept. It looked like a tomb. Ava leaned in, her voice low. We found the garden. And then the signal changed. A child's voice came through. Is someone there? The garden. Wasn't in any database. It had no name, no entry logs, no incoming routes. It hovered in the gravity well of a decaying star where no ship traveled, and where nothing should survive. But the signal was real. Ava stared at the rotating station. It's cloaked in heat distortion, she said. That's why no one's seen it before. Ghost nodded. Until someone inside made a mistake, or sent a cry for help. Footage gathered from ancient records showed the garden had once been a medical research facility long abandoned. After a virus outbreak, but someone had reactivated it and repurposed it. Satellite imaging showed domes, some filled with trees. Others with fake blue skies, simulated Earth habitats, cages dressed like playgrounds. Why make it look like home? One pilot asked. Ghost replied coldly, to keep the children calm. Rourke opened a channel. This is Commander Rourke of the Terran Vanguard. Identify yourself. Silence, then static. Then, after a child's laughter. But it wasn't right. It looped. Artificial. Automated distress masking, Ava said. They're hiding behind voices. Ghost interrupted. One voice is real. Track 3. It's not a loop. He isolated it. A girl, young human. My name is Selen. We're still here. Please come quickly. Ava forwarded the coordinates. To the Galactic Council, the response was swift and gutless. We strongly advise against direct action. Any assault on the garden could destabilize fragile treaties. Wait for further negotiation. Rourke stared at the transmission. Want us to wait again? Ava's jaw clenched. They waited when the first children were taken. Never again, Rourke stood. Then we go in alone. Ghost mapped an infiltration route. There's a maintenance shaft on the station's dark side, probably forgotten. Nodded. We'll breach silently. No bombardments. No noise. Just us, Ava said, strapping in, and every parent's promise. The ship moved in, cloaked, hugging the shadows of the dying sun. As they approached, Ava whispered, We're coming, Selen, hold on. They entered through the shaft. No alarms. No guards. Only silence. Until they heard it. Children singing a lullaby broken and off-key echoing through empty halls. One of the soldiers froze. This place, it's wrong. They passed rooms filled with simulations of Earth, fake forests, digital skies, robots dressed as caretakers. But no children, not yet. Ghost found the main control terminal. Give me 10 minutes. He said. Ava and Rourke took positions covering him as he hacked through layers of encrypted commands. He opened a live feed there, eh? A group of 18 children huddled in a dome labeled Terrarium 6. They looked thin, tired, confused, but alive. Ghost triggered an emergency unlock. Sirens blared. Rourke raised his rifle. They know we're here. As the team pushed deeper, a voice came over the speakers, cold, calculated. You should not have come. This place is not for war. It is for preservation, Ava shouted back. You're not preserving them. You're trapping them. The voice paused. You do not understand, but you will. The lights went red. Doors began to seal. They were now inside the garden, and it was waking up. Sirens screamed. Steel walls slammed shut. Lights flashed crimson. Ghost yelled. They're locking us in. But Rourke was already moving, his pulse rifle raised. In the dome marked Terrarium 6, Cellin clutched the others. They heard the explosions. They heard the voice again. You don't belong here, Terrans. You were warned. Then came Ava's voice over the station's comm system. We're not here to belong. We're here to end you. That's when the garden's defenders revealed themselves, not soldiers, not machines, clones of the children. The garden had a last line of protection. It wasn't armed drones. It was psychological warfare. Dozens of clones, created from the children's DNA, blocked the halls. Eyes blank, skin pale, voices flat. Return to your places, they said. Turn to calm. Rourke didn't fire. Ava didn't blink. Ghost whispered, they're not real. Rourke lifted his rifle, aimed past the man, shot out the control panel on the wall. The illusion flickered. The clones screamed and dissolved into ash. Thought so, he muttered. Ava kicked open the final security door. There they were, Celine. And the others, dirty, tired, alive. The children stared at her wide-eyed. You're from Earth, one asked. Ava nodded, kneeling. And we're taking you home. Then the ceiling shook. Turrets dropped from the roof. Autoguns spun up. Ghost hacked the security feed. Buy me 30 seconds. Rourke stepped in front of the kids. Shield active. Gunfire tore through the corridor until Ghost's override shut them down. Smoke, silence, then cheering. We're clear, Ava said. Let's move. The garden had locked down every exit. Only one path remained through the central reactor shaft. It's not stable, Ghost warned. This whole station's running on cracked fusion cores. Then we blow it after we leave, Rourke growled. Ava turned to the kids. Stay close. Hold the rope. No one lets go. They moved fast, careful, but not quiet. The garden AI spoke again. You cannot stop what is already growing. These children are perfect. Ghost snapped back, then prepared to meet imperfect rage. He planted charges behind them at the reactors. Base stood the core node, a pulsating brain-like mass wrapped in alien tech. Ghost scanned it. That's not an AI, it's a hybrid, organic and synthetic. Ava frowned. You mean it's alive? It's aware? And it was angry. Defense bots rose from the floor. Turrets reactivated. A timer blinked 30 seconds until overload. Rourke roared, shielding the team as Ava threw EMP grenades. Ghost hacked the core one last time, sending the final message to the council. He said, We found your monsters, and we buried them. The Terran dropship docked with the shaft's upper level. Rourke shoved the last child aboard. Ghost jumped in last, detonator in hand. They lifted off just as the garden cracked in half its reactor, screaming as it imploded in a burst of white fire. The shockwave rolled behind them like a storm. Ava looked back once. Not anymore. The video of the rescue spread across the stars. Every major system saw the truth. The Galactic Council was forced to respond. Those responsible were dragged into light-talian elites, corrupt traitors, shadow leaders, all exposed. But Ava didn't care about politics. She watched the children reunite with families. She saw Cellin laugh again. That was enough, back on Earth. Cellin stood beneath a tree, sunlight on her face. She looked up and asked Ava, Are the bad ones gone? Ava nodded. They are now. Cellin smiled. Good, because if they weren't, She paused. I was going to make them scream.